Hello my loves, I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to today's reading vlog. I am so excited about this reading vlog because I have been seeing these vlogs all over booktube and I have been loving them and I wanted to jump in on it as well. So if you couldn't tell by the title, today's reading vlog is me going to be continuing with the series that I'm currently in the middle of. What I've done on my phone is from memory, which we're not off to a great start already, but from memory, I've tried to write down all of these series that I am currently in the middle of. Now, I have included some series that aren't all fully out yet, so because I wanted to, basically, and I think that's okay. I think I'm allowed to do that. The series that I currently have written down that I'm in the middle of that I want to finish and continue with are Lord of the Rings, Powerless, Ninth House, Godkiller, Crescent City, ACOTAR, Dr. Nell Ward series, Thursday Murder Club series, Caraval series, Folk of the Air, The Mortal Instruments, Percy Jackson, The Ruinous Love Trilogy, The Shepherd King Duology, Regency Fairy Tales Trilogy, The Broken Earth Trilogy, and the Before the Coffee Gets Cold series. Now, looking at my bookshelves, I am pretty sure that... Oh, and then there's obviously Emily Wilde's, but that is being released literally this month, I'm pretty sure. Is it... no, February. It's being released in February, I think. But I'm fully caught up with that at the minute. So I think... Oh, didn't TJ Klune release a sequel to The House in the Cerulean Sea? I think he has. I'm pretty sure I saw on Bookstagram that he has released a sequel to that book, so I'm technically in the middle of that series. Oh my gosh! Oh no, yeah. I was gonna say Half a Soul series, that's the Regency Fairy Tales trilogy. Yeah, and all the other series... Oh! I've got the Stephen Fry, hang on, I found some more. Stephen Fry's like Greek mythos series. So I've read the first 2 books in that, but I need to read Troy. A Good Girl's Guide to... Dang, I found another one. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. There's another one that I needed to add to the list. Okay, this list is slowly growing. I think I'm going to DNF that series. I've just seen another series, but I think I'm going to DNF it. It's the Icebreaker series by Hannah Grace. I haven't picked up Daydream, and I don't think I'm going to. So I'm pretty sure. Okay, I think that's all of them. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 series that I'm currently technically in the middle of, and I have been buying books recently that are the start of series, and 2 + 2 is not equaling 4 in this equation right now. I really need to dwindle my series down before starting new series, so that's what we're going to be doing in this vlog. I feel like it took me a hot minute to get to that, for me to say that. What? We're going to continue series I'm in the middle of. That's what this vlog is. Oh my goodness, it's been a hot minute. It's been a long day, okay? Please bear with me. What I did was I was looking at this list and I was kind of like, what is jumping out at me right now? What is calling to me to be read? Because if you didn't know, I'm such a mood reader. I really struggle with TBRs. I very rarely stick to them because I see what I'm feeling in the moment. Even though I am currently reading The Fellowship of the Ring, I'm kind of soft pausing. I've left that book at home while I'm back in Bath for a few days, and I thought it'd be nice just to pick up something, a bit of a palette cleanser. And as I was looking at this list, there was a certain series that kind of jumped out at me that I thought is the perfect palette cleanser because it's not a big book, it's not a heavy fantasy or like a heartbreaking romance or anything like that. It's a like magic realism cozy maybe a bit emotional read. I thought this would be a good time to continue with the Before the Coffee Gets Cold series. And if you couldn't tell from the little mini montage that I did, after work today I popped into Waterstones and I picked up the second book in the series, which is called Tales from the Cafe, and it's by, and I'm so sorry if I butcher this, it is by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. So I read Before the Coffee Gets Cold maybe a year ago, or even over a year ago now. It's been a little while, but I remember enjoying it. It wasn't a 5-star read, but I think I rated it maybe a 4-star or a 3.5. I can't quite remember, but I do remember enjoying the book. And something that I would love to do is read some more translated work. And if you couldn't tell from the name, this author is Japanese. Japanese literature has really taken off in the last few years, and I totally understand why. It just has this really lovely, calming, cozy simplicity to it, and I think that's what I need right now. We're gonna start off this reading vlog with Tales from the Cafe, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited. If you didn't know, Before the Coffee Gets Cold is about a cafe in Tokyo, I want to say. Hidden down a side street in Tokyo, Cafe... Okay, I'm so sorry if I pronounce this wrong. Cafe Funisuli... Funny... Oh my gosh. Funicula? How do you say this? Hang on. Hang on a minute. It's spelled Funiculi and then Funicula. Funiculi. Funiculi. Okay. Funicula. Let's try this again. Hidden down a side street in Tokyo, Cafe Funicula boasts many things: good coffee, good conversation, a friendly cast of regulars. But the cafe also offers its customers a unique experience, the chance to travel in time. There are rules you must stick to. You have to sit in the right seat, accept the coffee poured for you, and finally, most importantly, you must return to the present before the coffee gets cold. Yeah, our first book follows basically a cast of different characters going to this cafe and travelling back in time to revisit certain events and moments in their lives. It's a really simple but beautiful concept, and I really enjoyed the first one, so I'm looking forward to revisiting this cafe, revisiting the characters that we met. I'm assuming we have the same characters that were running the cafe in the first book, and meeting some new ones. So I'm going to stop rambling. I've rambled a lot for an intro of this video, and let's just start with book number 1 in our continuing series I'm in the middle of. I have no idea how this camera angle's going to be, so I'm sorry if it's really rubbish, and I'm also sorry about my unmade bed. Okay, those have been addressed. Let's move on. So, before cracking on with the reading update, I wanted to just show you a couple of things. First things first, I made some purchases that I wish to share with you. I hope that's okay. One thing that I really wanted to do, and one thing that I really wanted to start, was a reading journal. I have seen so many beautiful reading journals on Bookstagram and Booktube, and just the layouts and the spreads that people do, they're just so cute and so pretty, and I think it's such a fun, creative way to track your reading and your thoughts on what you read, etc, etc. But I get so easily overwhelmed and intimidated by them, and I really struggle to start things. If I'm not shown exactly how to start something, my brain physically cannot process it. Like, it physically cannot work out what I need to do and how I need to start something. It just doesn't know how to do it. So whenever I'm given like a list of instructions, either written down or verbally, no ma'am, no, it's not happening, but show me, and boom, I've got it. I can do it with my eyes closed. Even though there are hundreds of how to start a book journal videos and tutorials and things out there, I still just find it extremely intimidating. So when I came across this, I was so excited because the hard work had been done for me. So for £5, I have picked up a pre-made book journal. Yeah. So if you are from the UK, I got this from The Works, which is just my favourite place ever. I get a lot of my books from The Works, a lot of my crafting creative stuff from The Works, and now I've got this from The Works. It says book journal, a space to review every story you read. And it's just, I mean, look at it. It's so cute. And then when you open it, it's got a quote in the front that says, "I do believe something very magical can happen when you read a good book. J.K. Rowling." And then, this is what excites me. It has a book tracker, but it's the one where you can colour in the spines. It's like a bookshelf and you colour in the spines of the book. I love that so much. Colour in a book each time you finish reading to track your progress. I'm so excited! I'm so excited to start colouring this in. And then it has a books to read section. So it says title and author and then in my library. And then we get on to the reviewing spread. So you've got the title, author, review, so how many stars, format, genre, date started, date finished, memorable quotes, and then review and thoughts. And then you've got, oh, there's more! I didn't realise that there's more! You've got, would I read it again? Would I recommend it to a friend? And if so, who? One last parting thought. And then the spread repeats itself. This is just taken... Ooh, and then on the back, you've got one last quote and another spread. This is favourite fictional characters and then favourite authors. And then the last quote this, from C.S. Lewis says, "You can never get a cup of tea large enough or a book long enough to suit me." Amen to that. And then it says, "To be continued." This is exactly what I wanted, and the fact that all the hard work has been done for me, beautiful, 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 beautiful. So I am hoping to keep up with this. I'm thinking every time I finish a book, obviously I'll come to my book journal, fill out my thoughts. I'm so excited. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is, because I technically haven't read my first full book of 2025 yet, so when I do, it will be going straight into the book journal. But that was the first thing I wanted to show you. The second thing is a hoodie. So I am back home for a little bit and we have some of the best charity shops in my little town, in my little village, and every time I go in there I always find just something great, just a great find. One, books, I will get to that, don't worry, but I just went in just to have a browse and for £5 I found this hoodie. Now I don't know if you could tell, I'm a hoodie gal. I love my oversized hoodies. They are so comfy and cozy and they just make me feel good. And when I saw this, I just knew I needed it. I just knew I needed it. I love the colour. It says Houston, Texas, new spot. Surround yourself with natural wonders. You will be seeing this on my person, probably in this vlog at some point, let's be honest. And then also in that same charity shop, this is why I love shopping for books in charity shops, because I got this book for £1.60. Yeah, £1.60. As I have previously said in this vlog, I really want to read some more translated fiction. And this particular book I've been seeing it around on BookTube and Bookstagram, but also a very dear friend of mine has read it and she rates it so highly. And that is Dalagut Dream Department Store. The dream you ordered is sold out. Firstly, this cover is absolutely gorgeous. But this is a Korean fiction book, and I want to say it's magic realism, something like that. But yeah, I got it for £1.60, and I think it retails for like £9.99. And it's literally in perfect condition. Perfect condition. I can't. They also had, because this is a duology. Now, is this reading vlog a finishing a series I'm in the middle of? Yes. But we're just going to ignore that for 2 seconds, okay? They did also have the second book there as well, but it was like a bigger copy, and I just thought, you know what if I don't enjoy this? What if I don't like it? Then I bought the second book for no reason. So I was a good girl and I only got the one book, but I don't actually know what this is about. In a mysterious town hidden in our collective subconscious, there's a department store that sells dreams. Day and night, visitors both human and animal shuffle in to purchase their latest adventure. Each floor specialises in a specific type of dream. Childhood memories, ice skating, dreams of stardom, your crush. Flying dreams are almost always sold out. Dreams of your favourite food make you feel like you can almost taste it. Join Penny, an enthusiastic new hire, as she uncovers the workings of this whimsical world and bonds with a cast of unforgettable characters, including Mrs. Weather, her reliable confidant, Baby Nap Rockabye, a famous dream designer, Maxim, a nightmare producer, and Dalagut himself, the flamboyant and genius mastermind behind the store. This is the first magical book in a best-selling duology for anyone exhausted from the reality of their daily life. So I think it's similar vibes to Before the Coffee Gets Cold, as in we have like our main crew, our main characters, but then because of the setting, for example, in this case it's a store, it's a department store, and in The Coffee Gets Cold it's the cafe, because you've got customers, you've got new characters entering with their own unique stories and things. Similar settings, similar vibes that I'm getting. But, ooh, interesting. Am I saying that not right? Dalagut Dream Department Store. So this is by, I'm so sorry again if I pronounce this wrong, Mie Lee, and it's translated by Sandy Jusun Lee. Oh, and this is a debut novel. That's fun. Just picked this up. Not too sure when I'm going to pick it up, but because of the cover, it'll probably be like the spring, summertime-ish. But anyway, that was just a really quick ramble. I am now going to cut to me, who has finished Tales from the Cafe, to give you a reading update. I currently haven't finished it. It is here. I am so close. I'm on the last part, which is the married couple. So when I next speak to you, it will be my final thoughts and feelings. Okay, so I thought I would come here and give you an update and my final thoughts. Sorry, an update and final thoughts on
Tales from a Cafe. I don't have the actual book with me because I left it at home, but I thought I would give you my final thoughts before filling in my book journal. I think on Goodreads I rated it a 4 out of 5 stars. I think it's sitting at like a 3.75 for me. I really enjoyed this book. I think I actually enjoyed it more than the first book from what I remember of enjoying the first book. Even though these are the only kind of Japanese translated works and fiction that I have read, talking to a colleague of mine, we've just been talking about the fact that Japanese literature, even though it is so simple and simplistic, there's such depth to it, and there's this kind of underlying beauty that comes with Japanese literature, and that is very much woven into this book. I loved the characters that we met. I loved learning more about the characters that we already knew. I think there were times throughout the book where things were repeated quite a bit, like the names of characters were kind of repeated when they were reintroduced in a chapter, and you know, why we knew that character, like this character is this person's mother, or this character is a waitress at the cafe. And to some people that may seem quite annoying because they may be a bit like, I know this character is this person and I know they do this. But for me, I actually found it really helpful, especially with the fact that obviously the names in the book are Japanese. So sometimes it could get a little confusing, or it could have been confusing trying to remember who was who. But because there was those kind of reminders of who was who and what they did and why they were there, I found it really helpful. So some people may find it annoying, but I personally found it really helpful. And a lot like, again, with kind of any Japanese culture through media that I've come across, whether that be movies, books, shows, there always seems to be a deeper message woven throughout, and you definitely get that with this book and with this series in general. It was a gentle read, kind of emotional. It didn't make me cry or anything, but it definitely had emotional moments that did get me a little bit, but it was kind of just the perfect gentle read that I needed, kind of in between bigger books. So yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to continuing with this series. However, today I will not be continuing with this series. Like, I will be, but that's not the next book I'm going to be reading. What? What? There are 3 books that I am trying. Cool, yep. 3 books that I'm trying to choose between for my next read. Looking at my bookshelves, a lot of the series that I'm in the middle of are ongoing series, like they all haven't been released yet. But I really want to continue with series that have been completed and have been finished, hence why I've chosen these next 3 books. I've said that, I've just realised one of them technically isn't completed anymore. So maybe I won't choose that one. It was going to be Percy Jackson and the Last Olympian, but as I stated in my last vlog, this is technically no longer the last book because he released another one. So I think I'm going to put this one back, actually. So that actually leaves us with 2 books to choose from. The first one is the last book in this trilogy. Technically, there is a spin-off duology that's been released. I don't know if I'll read that, but basically, the first choice is The Queen of Nothing by Holly Black. Now, I have really been putting this off because I didn't overly enjoy the first 2 books in this trilogy. Please don't come for me. However, because I literally only have this book left and it is not a big book at all, part of me just wants to read it just to say that I have completed the trilogy. And you never know, the final book may surprise me. I don't know. But yeah, I wasn't overly impressed. I think it's because of how hyped the series has been. So then when I came around to finally reading them, I was quite let down by them, unfortunately. But this is our first pick for this okay. So this is our first pick, or my other choice is Legendary by Stephanie Garber. Now, this is the second book in the Caraval trilogy. I really want to read this trilogy because I really want to start. Is it The Ballad of... No. Once Upon a Broken Heart. And I really enjoyed Caraval. I do have my reading vlog up on it if you are interested in seeing my thoughts and feelings. And I did genuinely quite enjoy it. So I really want to continue with this trilogy, more so that I can start Once Upon a Broken Heart. But I refuse to start that trilogy until I have read this trilogy. But this is the second book within that trilogy, whereas this is the last book. I don't know. I generally don't know which one to go for. I think The Queen of Nothing is what's kind of speaking to me more, which I'm quite surprised at. See, that sounds really good. That sounds really good. I may have to read a bit of a summary of The Wicked King just to remind myself of how that book ended. I think I'm going to go with The Queen of Nothing. This is kind of speaking to me. Because I think this book follows the sister in Caraval, which I am really intrigued by, but for some reason I'm leaning towards... You know what? Let's go with our gut. We're going to go with our gut, and the next book we're going to start is The Queen of Nothing by Holly Black. This is what we're doing. But first, I need to write in my book journal a mini review of Tales from the Cafe. And then we're going to queen. It's been a bit of a day. We're going to start The Queen of Nothing. Okay, let's just get the ball rolling.
A good book, and people seem to still be super obsessed with this book, and people that don't normally be in the center of a century-long conflict that might just get her killed of his own. I'm super excited we've picked this book out, and honestly I can't wait to read it. I really can't. They do it for me every time, and I think this is the...
Yes, because it's about my open version of silence. Hello my loves, I thought I would pop in and give you a reading update on The Queen of Nothing. I am now at just past the 100 page mark. I'm on chapter 12, which is page 109. Firstly, I do apologise for my voice. I have had this really randomly weird sore throat mini cough that has lasted 2 days, and I'm now at the end of it. So if I'm sounding a bit funny and a bit raspy, that is why, so please bear with me. I do apologise. But, as I was saying, The Queen of Nothing by Holly Black. I am finding it quite annoying how much I'm actually enjoying this. Part of me kind of wishes that I reread the last book, or even just the last couple of chapters. Not because I'm struggling to remember what happened in the plot and things, because it is slowly coming back to me as I'm reading this. But part of me is a bit maybe I didn't give the first 2 books a proper chance, or maybe I picked them up at a time where I wasn't really feeling it and I was just forcing myself to read them. Because bear in mind, this isn't the best YA fantasy that I've ever read, and it's not absolutely mind-blowing to say the least. But I'm not hating it or disliking it as much as the first 2 books, and that's surprising me a little bit.
So I can't say too much about the plot because this is the third and final book in the trilogy. And I'm really sorry if you can hear that construction. That's awfully annoying. But I guess what I can say is the characters. I remember finding our main character, Jude, quite, oh, even not just our main character, our whole cast of characters quite immature and childish. And that frustrated me because there are quite mature adult themes within this book. There's torture and murder and heavy politics and romance. There's no spice, it's a YA, but there's romance. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it happening in this series. And those are very adult, mature things. But then the way that the characters, from memory, how they were acting, specifically as well in the first book, was just so childish and immature. But then you're trying to convince me that Carden had like these fae around him like nibbling on his ear and stuff. Like, I don't know. I just remember the first book and second book just not really. It's like it wants to be an adult fantasy, but it can't. It's a YA, so it's not. But I'm not really having that struggle with this book. I'm finding this a lot easier to read. I'm not disliking the characters. I'm actually quite intrigued and interested in the political plot. Yeah, at the moment it's probably sitting at like a 3.5 for me. Like, I'm genuinely enjoying it. And I remember feeling the first two books quite a struggle to read. Like, they're not big books at all, but I remember feeling like I was struggling to get through them. Whereas with this one, I'm kind of happily sitting here just like reading the chapters, like not struggling. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I'm not really articulating my words very well, but it's kind of making me question whether or not I should just reread the series, question mark, maybe. If I did, it wouldn't be like anytime soon, but I am tempted to try the first two books again just to see if maybe approaching them at a different time with a different mindset might make me enjoy them a little bit more. Yeah, I am really pleasantly surprised with how much I am enjoying this book so far. And I do love, it's such a pretty book. Like, there aren't any illustrations in it per se, but like the chapter headings I just think are so pretty, and like the little crown in the top corner. At the start of the book, the like poem that's there. Obviously the map is gorgeous. I have always loved the map, I must say. The map of Elfheim is stunning. And this is surprisingly making me intrigued by the companion duology. But we'll see. And I also unintentionally have my nails matching to the book. I didn't mean to do that, but it matches. I don't know if you can tell, but they're both pale purple. But yeah, I don't really have much planned until this afternoon, so I'm kind of thinking I'm just gonna let myself get comfy on the sofa, drink tea, eat scrummy food, and read, because I started my period and your girl's in pain. So, yeah, sounds about right. Oh my god, and I'm wearing a purple jumper. She is feeling the purple, clearly. I don't really know if that was a good update for you or not. To conclude, I'm enjoying it more than I was expecting, and I'm quite interested to see where the plot of the story goes, I must say. They're brewing. Things are brewing, and I'm waiting for the big boom, you know, the climax. But I feel like there's quite a lot to happen, and this is a short book, so we'll just have to see. But anyway, that was the update. I'm gonna crack on and read a bit more, I think, because I have nothing else to do, and it feels so good to say that. It feels so good to say that. I'm gonna go read and make a cup of tea and just have a great time, and I will see you in a little bit. So I've just finished The Queen of Nothing by Holly Black. So something I did in preparation for this, and I'm sorry for the echo, I didn't realise how echoey it was going to be in here, but I thought a change of scenery would be quite nice from just my bedroom. But something that I did was I actually rewatched the kind of wrap-up reviews that I did of The Cruel Prince and The Wicked King. And I forgot that I rated The Cruel Prince 2 out of 5 stars, and then I rated The Wicked King 3 out of 5 stars. And the thoughts that I was having about those two books, I have the same thoughts about this book. So what I was basically saying, and it's exactly how I feel about The Queen of Nothing, is the books aren't long enough. I feel like what Holly Black really wanted to achieve, I feel like she should have given herself more pages to achieve it in. I feel like this world has the potential to be so well flushed out, and the history and the depth of it, I don't think 300 pages is enough. Obviously, one of the big appeals about this fantasy series is because they're not big books, and usually fantasy books are quite large. But they're large for a reason, you know, you're literally creating a whole new world, a whole new system. You've got to explain the rules of the magic. In this case, because there's fairies, you've got to explain the different kinds of fairies and what they look like and what magic they use. And, you know, there's so much in it that there's a reason why fantasy books are so big. And I feel like this series has the potential, for me personally, I know this is a 5-star series for quite a few people, which is great, but for me personally, I think I needed more of that detail. I needed more of that information to then care about it more. Again, hearing my thoughts about the 2 previous books, I remember now, I found the characters so frustrating. Carden was my only, character that I vaguely liked, but all of the other characters, I didn't care about them, I didn't really connect with them, they just annoyed me. But in this book, I even posted a story on Instagram being like, I am so shocked and surprised, Carden acting like a man, Jude isn't actually annoying me, and I kind of like her because she's acting like a powerhouse boss queen. The plot is actually plotting right now. What is happening? I definitely enjoyed this a lot more than I was expecting I was going to enjoy it. And I also think a part of that is because most of this book, I would say 95% of this book is set in Elfhame, in the fairy world, whereas in the 2 previous books, there is more scenes and moments between the mortal world and the fairy world. I wouldn't say it's evenly split, but you do get some more mortal world scenes, and that definitely pulls me out of the fantasy fairy-ness. You know, the whole point of reading a fantasy for me is to escape, is to enter a whole new world that doesn't exist, that has whole new species and characters and laws and magics and things like that. So when you bring the mortal world into it, it takes that magic away from me. It just does. So I think that's why I did enjoy this more, because most of it is set in fairy. I also think, in a weird way, this book is less complicated because you've met all the characters, all the plot has been all the groundwork of the plots and everything and the politics has been laid. This is where all the action takes place. And what I think maybe would have been better is if The Cruel Prince and The Wicked King was combined into one book, and then The Queen of Nothing, I think this could have been a duology, basically. I think the first 2 books could have been one book, and then The Queen of Nothing as its own book, but with more. I could have so easily had, the battle scene. I say battle scenes, there weren't any battle scenes, really, but the conflicts and things, I would have loved for them to be longer and have more depth to them, But it all happened relatively quickly. Again, look at the size of the book. There's no surprise, I was expecting that. So yeah, I think I just wanted more. And I think that's why I didn't enjoy it as much. But I also really struggled with the fact that the age of the characters, I think they're like 17, 18, right? This is also one and probably the only kind of negative thing I had to say about Six of Crows and that duology. Again, those characters are like 16, 17. What they're doing and how they're talking, they're just not acting that age, and I'm really struggling to put the two together. So in my head, I'm like, no, you're acting like you're in your 20s, so be in your 20s. I feel like even though this is a YA series, I think it would have benefited being an adult series. I think that would have allowed Holly Black to really explore the themes that she was writing about in this series, but with more depth and with less restrictions. Because being a YA series, there are restrictions because you're writing for a younger audience, whereas even if it was like new adult or just adult fantasy, those restrictions wouldn't be there as much, and she would be able to explore those themes a lot more deeply. So I think making this YA might have been her biggest downfall in a way. But then again, I say that a lot of people love this series, like it's their top series. I don't know, but my final rating for The Queen of Nothing is going to be 3.75. I'm going to rate it a 3.75. I'm not quite ready to give it a 4 stars. I don't know why I don't want to give it a 4 stars. I think if it was longer, if I had more of that in-depthness that I was looking for, it would have definitely been a 4 stars. And then, I don't know, to make it a 5 stars, make it adult so we can explore those themes even more deeply without those restrictions. So yeah, 3.75. I guess overall, the Folk of the Air series for me, I guess would be like a 3 to 3.5 star. That means I have now finished the Folk of the Air trilogy. I am so happy. And has this made me curious about the duology that she released, which follows Oak and Surin? I think it has. I think it has. However, I'm not going to reach for it straight away. No ma'am, no sir, no thems. That's not happening. It's definitely kind of put it on my radar, and I'm now not completely opposed. And there was, I mean, it could be happening in the spin-off duology, I don't know. But there was hintings of a possible coupling right at the end of this book that if she wanted to, Holly Black could very definitely do like a spin-off based on these two characters. I don't know if she actually plans to do that. That's literally just me speculating. It'd be cool if she did, because I think a lot of people might like to read that. I don't know. But yeah, I literally finished that book about 5 minutes ago. So these are my literal initial thoughts. As you can probably hear and tell, I am not at my 100% fullest and healthiest, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to end the vlog here. I did want to squeeze in a third book for this vlog, but I've got a feeling I'm going to be in bed for a couple of days, and I would love to get this vlog edited and uploaded. So even though we only read 2 books in this vlog, they were 2 great books, and they were two small books as well, which was really nice. And reading The Queen of Nothing has kind of got me itching for another fantasy, so I'm gonna have a little look at my bookshelves and see what jumps out at me. But I really hope you enjoyed this reading vlog. Thank you so much for joining me. If you've made it this far, comment a crown emoji down below so I know that you made it this far. And I really hope that I see you all in the next video. Bye!